Remember when going to Sizzler was a celebration? When that famous cheese toast and unlimited salad bar meant your family was having a special night out? This once mighty steakhouse chain had over 700 locations across America in the 1990s. Today, only 74 remain. And twice, this American icon declared bankruptcy. But here's the twist. In 2025, Sizzler is making what might be its final comeback attempt. Will it work? Or are we watching the last gasp of a dying brand? Stick around, because this story has more layers than their legendary salad bar. The Golden Era. To understand how Sizzler fell so hard, we need to go back to 1958 to Culver City, California, where Del and Helen Johnson opened the very first location. Post-World War II America was booming. New restaurant concepts were exploding across Southern California. McDonald's had just perfected the fast food model. In-N-Out was pioneering the drive-thru experience. But Del Johnson saw something missing. A gap in the market that would change casual dining forever. Think about it. You could grab a burger at McDonald's for pocket change, or you could spend serious money at a sit-down restaurant. But what if you wanted something in between? A real steak dinner that didn't break the bank? Del Johnson essentially invented the fast casual model, decades before Chipotle or Panera existed. Order at the counter, pay up front, then your food comes to your table. Lower overhead meant lower prices. Genius. Their motto said it all. Why does a nice juicy steak have to break the bank? A quality steak dinner for a fraction of what you'd pay elsewhere. For American families in the 1960s and 70s, this was revolutionary. But the real game changer came in the late 1970s. Sizzler introduced something that would become legendary: the all-you-can-eat salad bar. This wasn't just lettuce and tomatoes. We're talking hot appetizers, soups, that impossibly thick New England clam chowder, and eventually, full buffet spreads. The buffet court, as they called it, became the main attraction. By the early 1990s, Sizzler had exploded to over 700 locations nationwide. They'd expanded internationally: Australia, Japan, Thailand. The company was approaching $1 billion in annual sales. Sizzler wasn't just a restaurant. It was a cultural phenomenon. They even became a punchline in pop culture. Featured in movies like White Men Can't Jump. Everyone knew Sizzler. Everyone had been to Sizzler. The cracks appear. But success, as they say, breeds competition. And by the mid-1980s, Sizzler's revolutionary model was no longer unique. Ponderosa Steakhouse, Bonanza, Golden Corral. Suddenly, everyone was copying the Sizzler formula. Affordable steaks, salad bars, casual atmosphere. And here's where Sizzler made its first critical mistake. Instead of doubling down on quality and what made them special, they tried to compete on price and volume. Remember how I said the buffet was a side attraction to the steaks? Well, customers started treating the buffet as the meal. They'd load up on unlimited shrimp, fill plates at the salad bar, and skip the entree entirely. So what did Sizzler do? They cut quality in other areas to compensate. Cheaper ingredients, less attention to the steaks, pre-made sides instead of fresh preparation. Customers noticed immediately. The steaks weren't as good. The service slipped. That special feeling of a nice dinner out started to fade. You were getting a good deal, sure, but was it still good? By the mid-1990s, Sizzler found itself in a death spiral. Fast food chains below them offered faster, cheaper options. Casual dining restaurants above them, places like Applebee's, Chili's, Outback, offered better quality for not much more money. And then came 1996. The inevitable happened. Sizzler filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. In one brutal move, they closed 130 locations, nearly 20% of their entire footprint. The company was drowning in costly leases for unprofitable restaurants. The company cited the usual culprits: rising costs, increased competition, changing consumer preferences. But the real problem was simpler. They'd lost their identity. The death spiral. Sizzler emerged from bankruptcy in 1997 with new management and new ideas. They were going to turn this thing around. New management upgraded the food quality. They raised prices to reflect the improvements. They started phasing out the all-you-can-eat buffet in some locations, trying to get back to their roots as a steakhouse. They even launched an upscale concept called Buffalo Ranch Steakhouse, trying to move upmarket, away from the budget reputation. But here's the problem. Nobody was asking for a premium Sizzler. The customers who loved Sizzler loved it for the value. The customers who wanted upscale steaks already had better options. Sizzler was stuck in no man's land. 21 more locations closed in 2001. By 2002, they were trying another remodel concept. Lighter, more open dining rooms. A new menu. More emphasis on steaks and seafood. Nothing worked. The slow bleed continued throughout the 2000s. Location count dropped year after year. In 2005, an Australian investment firm bought the struggling chain. In 2011, they sold it back to a U.S. management group. Different owners, same problems. According to industry data, U.S. unit count declined 19% between 2014 and 2019. Sales dropped 12.5% in the same period. They were losing the battle on every front. And if you visited a Sizzler in the late 2010s, you could see why. The restaurants looked tired. Many locations were frozen in time, stuck with 1980s decor, worn carpets, outdated fixtures. Walking into a Sizzler felt like stepping into the past, and not in a good way. Meanwhile, the restaurant industry was evolving. Fast casual was exploding with chains like Chipotle and Panera. Traditional casual dining was being disrupted by ghost kitchens and delivery apps. Fine dining was becoming more accessible. The middle space where Sizzler lived, it was disappearing. The pandemic knockout. And then came 2020 and COVID-19. For the restaurant industry, the pandemic was devastating. But for Sizzler, it was an existential threat. Think about Sizzler's business model: dine-in service, communal salad bars where people touch shared serving utensils, buffet stations, indoor seating packed with families. In September 2020, Sizzler USA filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy again, their second time in 24 years. The company blamed COVID-19, citing long-term indoor dining closures and landlords' refusal to provide necessary rent abatements. At the time, they had 107 locations in 10 states. Most of their company-owned restaurants were in California, the state with some of the strictest and longest lockdowns. CEO Chris Perkins didn't sugarcoat it. Many of the company-owned restaurant locations were struggling pre-pandemic. Our current financial state is a direct consequence of the pandemic's economic impact. Translation: COVID didn't kill Sizzler. It just finished what decades of decline had started. Other buffet-style chains didn't survive at all. Soup Plantation and Sweet Tomatoes, gone completely. Old Country Buffet, closed most locations. Even competitors like Ponderosa and Luby's barely hung on. Sizzler emerged from bankruptcy again in January 2023. But by then, the damage was done. From 107 locations at the start of COVID, they'd shrunk to just 74 U.S. locations by mid-2025, down from 700 at their peak. Today, almost all remaining Sizzlers are in California and the western U.S. In most of America, Sizzler has simply disappeared. The comeback attempt, but here's where the story takes an interesting turn. Because in 2024 and 2025, something unexpected happened. Sizzler started coming back. Current leadership, including Chief Growth Officer Robert Clark, who's been with the company for 41 years, decided to try something different. Instead of reinventing Sizzler, they went back to basics. Quote from Clark: "Past management spent a lot of time looking to change Sizzler. What we're trying to do is really stay relevant and have facilities that meet our reputation." They launched a complete redesign. New tile flooring, reclaimed wood accents, fresh paint, fireplaces, updated booths, digital menu boards. But keeping the core: counter service, central salad bar, affordable steaks. They even brought back Ribby, their vintage cartoon bull mascot from the 80s. The branding leans hard into nostalgia. Vintage t-shirts, retro logos. They're not running from their past. They're embracing it. New menu items in 2024: the prime rib burger, the crispy bacon burger, both made with 1/3 pound chuck/ribeye patties on cheese, toast brioche buns. They're cutting steaks in-house again to control costs and quality. And the marketing? It's brilliant. They launched sweepstakes, celebrating small life wins that deserve a steak dinner. Made it 2 weeks in a daycare without getting sick? That's a Sizzler moment. Finally cleaned out the garage. Sizzler moment. And here's the crazy part, it's working. Remodeled locations are seeing sales increases of up to 47%. One location that finished update saw sales jump 100%. The brand completed 9 remodels in 2 years, with franchisees following the same playbook. People are genuinely excited. Millennials who remember going to Sizzler as kids are bringing their kids. Gen Z discovers it for the first time and thinks it's cool. The nostalgia factor is real. And, strategically, the timing might be perfect. In 2025, consumers are pulling back on dining spending. They're looking for value. They want familiar, comforting experiences. They're tired of $20 fast casual bowls and want a real meal that feels special without the price tag. Sasha Shinikoff, VP of Marketing. Everything we did was trying to dig into what made Sizzler so great in the first place. Why we have some restaurants that stood the test of time. Why people keep coming back. So, will it work? Can Sizzler actually pull off this comeback? Here's the honest answer. It's complicated. They're down to 74 locations. That's barely 10% of what they once had. They filed bankruptcy twice. An entire generation of Americans has never heard of them. In most of the country, Sizzler is already gone. They still face massive headwinds. Labor costs keep rising. Commercial rents are brutal. Inflation is squeezing margins. And the casual dining space is more competitive than ever. But those remodel locations are seeing real growth. The nostalgia, marketing is resonating. And maybe, there's room in the market for an affordable, family-friendly steakhouse that doesn't take itself too seriously. Other retro brands have pulled off comebacks. Crocs went from laughingstock to billion-dollar brand. Taco Bell keeps reinventing itself. Even McDonald's has had multiple renaissance periods. Sizzler has something unique. That salad bar experience, the cheese toast people still talk about decades later, and genuine emotional connections with multiple generations. The question isn't whether Sizzler can come back. It's whether they'll stick to this strategy long enough to make it work. Because here's what we learned from their history. Every time they try to be something different, upscale, trendy, reinvented, they failed. The only time they succeeded was when they were authentically themselves. Maybe Sizzler's greatest strength was always its simplicity. A good steak, a great salad bar, an atmosphere where a kid's soccer team and a couple on a date both feel welcome. In a world of Instagram-worthy restaurants and $40 entrees, maybe there's still room for that. Only time will tell if this is Sizzler's true comeback or its final curtain call. So here's my question for you. Do you remember Sizzler? Drop a comment with your favorite Sizzler memory. I want to hear about the cheese toast, the salad bar adventures, those special family dinners. And have you been to one recently? How does it compare to your memories? If you enjoyed this deep dive into restaurant history and want to see more stories about iconic American brands, smash that like button and subscribe. We've got similar videos on Blockbuster, Radio Shack, and Toys R Us. And here's a poll for you. Do you think Sizzler will successfully come back, or are they finished? Vote now. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes the best comeback is just being yourself. See you in the next one.